Welcome everybody, welcome back to Mick's Vintage Paperback Emporium, where I'll be talking about all things booky and paperbacky, and hopefully giving you an insight into my collection and what's out there. Today I'm going to be in honour of Evita returning to the West End and doing rather well, so my better half tells me. I'm going to be talking about Malinca, and they were based in Buenos Aires, Argentina, in the mid-50s all the way through to the early 60s. So I'm going to be talking about them today. I'm going to be doing it in two parts because there's quite a few. I've got up to number 55 in my Pandoras. So what they did, Malinca, they had three different series running concurrently, and Pandora is the one we're going to do today and in my second video. And then it'll be the same for Deborah, which was another publication, very, very similar. Thrillers, crime, a little bit noir. And they were basically taking all those American Digest covers from all those great artists like George Gross and Belaski and DeSoto and Howell Dodd. And they were literally putting them onto the front of their paperbacks. The third one they were doing, which I don't actually collect, is because the artwork's not really, it doesn't copy those American ones. It's just standalone artwork, and that's a new flashlight, which is called Nueva Linterna. As you'll probably realise, these books are in Spanish, and my Spanish is not so good, por favor. No. So I haven't read any of these books, to be honest. But the artwork's great, and I'm going to go through the first part up today, probably up to number 15, just to sort of have a little discussion about them. And they're really interesting, and I love collecting. When I find them for really good prices, I pick them up. I can't read them, but I just collect them because I'm nuts. My missus thinks I'm nuts. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So let's go. And don't cry for me, but we're going to go to Argentina now with Malinca books, and it's called New Pandora. Let's go. Hello, everyone. Here they are. This is my first part of my Malinca Pandora collection, or Nueva Pandora, New Pandora. And I'm going to talk about these books in two parts. So this is the first part today, and you can see already that there's some great artwork here, and we'll discover it as we go through. Basically, Pandora was came about from an ex-Catalonian from Spain, moved to Argentina. He had I think it was called Poseidon, was his publishing company. And they were doing sort of classics and that type of thing. But then he decided, maybe after a trip to the States, and he saw some of these books, I have no clue, but he thought, do you know what? I'm going to start making my own paperbacks, crime and noir thrillers. And he done a decent job. So we're going to start off with Malinca Pandora. And as you can see, I won't go through all the doubles I've got, because I'll just give you a quick, there's Bryce Walton, La Narja Noche, and then you have the American Digest, and so you can see a slight difference in size between the two, the Digest from America and the normal paperback size for the Argentinian edition by Malinca. And you can see the artwork has not suffered at all. It's a direct copy of Howell Dodd, which is taken from this Falcon book. So like I won't be going through all these artwork, because I'll probably be doing my own little Falcon Digest video on its own, as I've got the whole set. So I'll probably do that at different time. But it just gives you an idea of the size of the paperback. And this guy was called Joan Merle Pahisa. And he decided he was going to do these books, and I think he'd done a great job. The problem with these is that as we go through, you'll notice that the author and the title does not match the book they've taken it from. So he does a bit of swapping about, and it's quite tricky to work out what the book actually is, because the author's different to the artwork on the original, but it's all good fun. Let's go through them. So there you go. There's number 1 by Bryce Walton, La Large Noche. Typical paperback here on the back. This is how they started up. There's your Deborah collection. There's another one called Cobalto, which I've not collected. And there's the Linterna, Nueva Linterna at the bottom. And yeah, all published in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And that one was 1955. So they did start quite early. On to number 3, because I don't have number 2. But who knows, one day. Again, I think this particular artwork was originally used on a detective magazine, but I'm not entirely sure. And it's David Wade. And I can't remember what the magazine it was taken from now, but that's Norman A. Daniels. Really good artwork on that one there. Nueva Pandora, number 3. And there's the typical spine. I'll just get it up the right way. Not the greatest of spines. Most of these books are not in the greatest condition. I've not really found many mint copies, to be honest. They must have been very, very popular. And all of these copies I have purchased from Spain, so there must have been a really good export. As they were obviously all written in Spanish, it only seems obvious that he was obviously exporting a lot of these books back out to his homeland around that time. So we're on to 1956 now with John Power. This artwork's not taken. This is a standalone artwork. Looks like Ruiz is the artist here, obviously a Spanish artist. El Velo Rojo. I probably could tell you what it means, but I really don't know, because like I said, my Spanish is pretty rubbish. Anyway, it's not bad artwork. Good girl art. She's just killed the fellow on the floor and doesn't seem too concerned. There you go. That's number 4. There are gaps in my series, and I'm still looking for certain ones. And one day they'll turn up. Anyone who collects digest books will know this is a very famous cover by Keita Seach. Originally taken from Junkie, the Jonathan Craig version on Falcon, number 36, 1952. Well, this is number 5 in Pandora. It has a really bad tear there, with someone's obviously ripped off the price at some point. Bit of a shame, but hey, it's a great bit of art. And apart from that little tear at the cut, at least it's not actually on the artwork, it's just on the title page, but never mind. And again on the back, just a basic description of the actual book. You've got the Deborah collection, Cobalto, which I don't really know much about, to be honest. But there you go. That is number 5. Jonathan Craig. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, because I can't. Anyway, on to number 6. You'll recognise the artwork. Dolce Sauvage actually does mean Sweet Savage, by Norman A. Daniels. And it was the artwork taken from the book Man Crazy, exotic novel number 15. You'll recognise the artwork there. It's absolutely beautiful artwork. Absolutely beautiful. That's Nueva Pandora, number 6. All these early ones have second edition on top. I'm not exactly sure if that's because they were reprinted very quickly, but that seems to be quite a common thing on the early ones. And number 7, again taken from a Falcon book, originally from 1952. The artwork's from Lay Down and Die, and this is by Mark Reed, which is also a pseudonym for Norman A. Daniels. And taken from Falcon book number 26. That's Hal Dodd, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion. And that is just wonderful artwork. Proper gangsters mole, Yeah, it's got the lot there. If you like your gangsters and your moles, then there you go. And she's a blonde lady smoking a cigarette, showing a little bit of knee. Very risky. Again, Acquistati Umieri. I don't know. Right, on to number 8, which is my favourite book in the Falcon series. I've read most of them because they're great crime thrillers. And this one I read, and it's still one of my favourites. It's Raise the Devil. This is by David Wade, Normal A. Daniels again, from Falcon Book 35. And there's your detective or gangster at the door with the blonde girl looking very enticing. This is David Wade, Pandora, number 8. Now, we're going to come to number 9, Hamlin Daily. If you actually see the, I mean, I've got the digest book, but you'll see that the guy has been very much given that Argentinian South American look from the original, but it's pretty close, and it is great artwork. Again, I believe it to be Harold Dodd, not signed, but fantastic cover. It's actually taken from the cancelled Redhead, which is Falcon Book number 25. So that's where you'll see the artwork, and the guy looking a bit more American in the Falcon version. But that is number 9 in the Pandora series. And yeah, there's your Spine and Hamlin Daily. Not sure what's going on in the back. Let's have a look. The tape's just holding down the particular sleeve here, but you'll see Deborah. There's your Cobalto at the top, which has got nothing to do with the artwork I'm interested in from America. But there you go. That's the back of number 9. Number 10, we all recognise this. I think in my last video or a couple of videos, I went through. This is another copy I've got with this particular artwork. This is number 10 by Mark Reed. La Dama Pide una Muerte. Vice Cop. Again, Mark Reed is a pseudonym for Normal A. Daniels, and this cover is taken from Quarter Book number 60, Room and Dame by Gerald Foster. So you can see they're taking the artwork and just replacing it with a completely different story from an American Digest, but it's quality artwork on a quality book that, unless you can speak Spanish, I don't know what it is. But absolutely brilliant. There's a back cover there. Collection Cobalto, and then you've got Deborah and Nueva Pandora at the bottom. They're telling you what the next one is, which is number 11, Laura Hale, which is coming up right now. Su propria trampa. I think we can all work out what that's particularly saying. But this is number 11. And again, it's artwork taken, lifted directly from an American Digest by Laura Hale, which is a pseudonym by a guy called Frederick Lorenz. But the cover and story is from Falcon Book number 37, Woman Hunter. Laura Hale. And again, the artwork is completely the same as the Digest version and is exceptional. There's the farm worker looking up in the hayloft. Never smoke in a hayloft, dear. You know the rules. It's got disaster written all over it, that is. Anyway, number 12, David Wade again. Again, this book was taken from a rainbow cover, Off Limits, which was number 130. But again, it has not been tampered with at all. It's a direct copy of that. And it's fantastic. Artwork by George Gross. This is number 12 by David Wade. La muerte es una pesadilla. And I apologise to anybody from Spain who might be watching this at the moment. It's the best I could do. Right, only a few to go. Let's move these over. this one's a bit of a rough copy. It's got a definite spine roll on there, but like every time I bought these books, I guarantee you I have not paid more than probably €4 or €5 from a certain place in Spain on a website. Again, it's Mark Reed, who was very popular around this time. He was they were nicking loads of his stuff, and this is number 14, La Novia Escalata. Again, Norman A. Daniels is the writer, using his pseudonym, and the cover's taken from Sweet Savage, which is a Falcon book number 38, but the story is taken from Falcon book 22, The Scarlet Bride, and that's what that La Novia Escalata means, the Scarlet Bride. Apparently, that's what Google tells me on Translate. Anyway, but yeah, great cover, great artwork. I'm not sure who this is by. It doesn't look like Dodd to me. But fantastic. Blonde girl, happy with a gentleman out for a little ride in the country. Brilliant stuff. Yeah, it's got a slight lean on the spine, but most of these are all fairly sort of very good pluses. There's nothing really you're going to find that's really near fine, because they really have been through the ring. I don't think none of them seem to be well looked after, which is a bit worrying, really. But anyway, I'm going to look after them now and keep them all safe. Anyway, this is number 15, Tom Stone. Siempre demasiado tarde. There you go. Tom Stone, cover from Nora's No Angel, which is the Rainbow 106 cover. Again, George Gross doing the artwork, and a mighty fine job he's doing of that as well. Again, you can see this copy's got a hefty cover read and loads of little nicks and stuff around the side, but great looking book. I think the back's pretty much the same as all the rest. There's your collection Cobalto and Deborah and Nueva Pandora. And Deborah, when I do my little videos on the Deborah side of Malinca, again, it's pretty much taking a lot of digest books from America and using the covers. Number 16, only a few to go on this short little edition. Lionel White. Story is taken from Seven Hungry Men, and the cover's from 10 Toes Up. So again, which was an exotic novel cover. Again, my copy's a little bit tired, but you'll see that really is some great classic art. And again, it looks a bit tired. And again, the adverts on the back give you a nice little reminder that Deborah, with their editions so far, and Pandora down the bottom there with number 17 coming up. Yeah, by R.R. McCullum will be the next one in the list. And that's number 16 by Lionel White. This artwork's just archetypal 50s. You see these on this particular image on postcards and t-shirts. It's a very well-known piece of art. It was originally used on the quarter book cover Quickie, which is quarter book 78. There's not really much you can add, really. It's not a bad looking copy either. It's got a proper old dink at the top and a bit of a crease. But again, wow, just fantastic art. A little bit saucy. And he's about to pull the blinds down, so goodness knows what's going to happen in the next half hour. But yes, that's number 17. Just 2 to go. Number 18, again, back to David Wade. La Mujer del Anillo. By, again, Norman A. Daniels with his pseudonym, David Wade. Cover is from Frisco Dame. But the story that's used on this particular one, going by the translator, is Come Night, Come Desire, which was published quarter books number 80. So again, they're mixing and matching their titles with their covers, and it doesn't matter how you mix and mash them, it still looks great. And yeah, that's really nice. That's a nice looking book. Bit of wear on the spine, but pretty decent. And last but no means least, number 19. This one here is El Cadaver and Desnudo, which is by James Clayford. James Clayford, who was Peggy Cadiz. That was the pseudonym she used. And it's taken from the covers from Three Men and a Mistress, exotic novel, number, it's 06 from 1950. So we're up to, on the date wise there, we're probably up to 1957 by now on here. And they go all the way through, right the way through into the early 60s. I will stop my collection. Well, I stopped about 1955. After that, I found that the artwork was independent artwork, probably an Argentinian or a Spanish artist, and it was poor quality. So I collect the whole lot, but it's really those digest books from America that I'm sort of trying to collect at the same time. George Gross artwork on this one here. And a beautiful looking book. Actually, it's in pretty decent nick. The spine's got some little wear there. James Clayford. My wife always likes it when I show the spine. She gets well, she sighs, or she just says, "What are you doing?" Anyway, there you go, James Clayford. So Pandora went all the way from number 1 right the way up to 96. So I've sort of found out 96, but I stop at 55 because, like I said, the quality wasn't that great. In part 2, we're going to take it on from number 19, and I should be starting with number 21, which all the way up to 55, going through exactly the same thing, and you'll see the artwork is just as good, and it doesn't let you down. Anyway, Buenos Aires, back to Letchworth Garden City. Thanks very much for your time, and hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all very, very soon.